This kind of gives you a little example of what Tindicon aims to do. There's 9 other organizations in the Tindicon Beneficiary Alliance. We have an organization called the Native Women's House of the Rockies, which provides refuge and sanctuary to Native Indigenous women who've been abused or are victims of human trafficking. We're not all wildlife. A large contingency of our organizations do focus on wildlife, but we're also about human rights, women's rights, and just kind of creating, our goal is to kind of create an egalitarian society, from people to other sentient life. And it all starts, I think, coming together and being very collaborative. But it's grassroots, and it's, this doesn't work without the support of you guys and telling your friends and your family that, hey, these are some amazing organizations, and Tindicon is supporting them through a variety of platforms to generate, revenue, but spread awareness, but also be solutions-based. Our summit and festival this fall, Endotrend, is about solutions-based. It's bringing people together, teaching people over 3 days how to community garden, how to permaculture, how to bring attainable solutions into our lives that lessen the impact on the planet. Everyone has mentioned here that there's human-wildlife conflict, in Africa, in Iceland, here in Colorado, and we need to make a change because we have just very finite amount of time left, very little water left. We are providing, for example, a safari with rangers. So if you guys got a little bit of money to spare, you have a great experience. We have a retreat For the Love of Wildlife in South Africa, which allows you to go and integrate with the community and with wildlife. All this money is going back to these organizations, to the rangers, to wildlife or wildlife guardians, to stop wildlife services and these other, these governments that are just turning their head to us. So spread the word. That's what we need. We have 60 days to really make this campaign happen, and that campaign is to launch an amazing summit and festival with some amazing people there. So thank you guys for coming. Let's light this fire and make it bigger.
Jeremy, like our conversations, they never go shorter than 50 minutes on Skype.
Right?
There's just one little 2 minutes throughout. I think Jane Goodall's calling to me to tell. Is it okay?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's Jane Goodall. I mean, we got to make time for her.
So Jane Goodall's an ambassador for Thin Green Line and for Rangers, but she also does this amazing work all around the world. Dr. Dame Jane Goodall, right? So I met her for 30 seconds and told her quickly my story, and she became now a friend. She Skyped into do chimpanzee calls to Money Boy. She's a close friend, but I want to share this with you because I think this is the essence of it all. Is that when I was in London with Jane, I was at her friend's house and we were staying together with Jane. I said, Jane, let's go for a walk. It's spring in London. I found this beautiful park. And I'm visiting her. She's 82. She travels 300 days a year around the world speaking about conservation, trying to empower people to have hope. And so we're walking to this park eventually because she said no, but then she said yes, and we walked to this park. And on the way there, we're talking about serendipity because so many amazing things happen. When I sold my car, I bought a bad car. It broke down. The guy rings up, says, I have a car dealership. Would you like a used car? I sat on a plane next to a lawyer that sets up charities. All this stuff happens, and I said, how does this happen? She goes, oh, it happens to me all the time. She goes, when you do something with integrity, other people of integrity gather towards you. And together you make something happen. And so we're walking through this park in the end, this beautiful London day, spring day, flowers are out. And we just said, oh, let's go this way. And then we got to a fork and we said, well, let's go this way. Got to another fork, oh, we both said, yeah, let's go this way. Anyway, we came upon this pond. In this pond it had a small fence that said, Rangers only. Now at the time I'm the president of the International Ranger Federation, so I think I can step over. And Jane and I are there, but there's 5 tradesmen in hard hats and fluoro vests and work boots with a bucket in where only Rangers should be. And Jane and I are looking at these guys. What are they doing here? And this one guy walks up with the bucket. Suppose you're wondering what we're doing here, hey? And Jane said, yes, we are, actually. Well, we're working 2 miles down the road, weren't we? And like these ducklings, a mother duck, and like 10 ducklings following her, were crossing the road. They were going to get hit by the car. Well, we had to do something about that, didn't we? So we rang the RSPB, the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, and they told us just leave them. There's too many ducks. You can't do anything. Now, none of them might be fair enough, but it's just not right, is it? So we put him in a bucket, and we walked this 2 mile, and we release him in the pond. Stuff what the sign says. Because we've all got to do our bit for conservation, don't you think? They're talking to Dr. Jane Goodall. And a lesson of me, the president of the Rangers around the world, telling us that we should do something for conservation. These tradesmen. And just before that, Jane and I, on our walk, were talking about what gives us hope. Because it's hard. It's hard, you know, amongst all this stuff, rangers being killed and elephants being killed, and right? How do you keep hope? We were discussing that just moments before meeting these men who had no training in conservation. These men who ignored the advice of the conservation organisation that said just leave them, there's too many birds on the road. Because in their heart they knew the right thing to do. And I said to Jay, I said, can I tell them who you are? She said, all right, whatever. And I said, do you know who this is? And they go, oh yeah, we've seen you on Animal Planet, haven't we, with the gorillas and that. She goes, well, it's chimpanzees actually, but that's another story. Because they always get it confused with Dian Fossey. In fact, when they say, oh, you're Dian Fossey, she goes, what happened to the end of Gorillas in the Mist? Oh, she got killed. Talking to me? Let the penny drop. I'm chimpanzee. But she didn't get into that. And we had this great conversation with this tradesman, and we walked away from that saying, what gives us hope is that innately in all of us, there is the desire to care. There is a desire to protect. There is the desire to nurture. And these tradesmen, these rough tradesmen, showed that to us. So that is the hope, and that's why this thing is really important, because the audience watching this music festival aren't conservationists necessarily. In fact, we're all conservationists, we just don't know it yet. We just don't know it yet. And that was a beautiful story that I wanted to share.
I love that. All right, Sammy, put some live music on.
Enough talking.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you.
Cheers.
Where?